You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hi, I'm Joe Heath.
I'm Toni Heath.
And this is the Watch-A-Thon of Rassilon. Woo, woo, woo! Yeah. Halloween.
I got nothing to follow that up.
All right, then let's just start this thing. Today we're going to be talking about the 11th episode of the second series of Doctor Who, Fear Her, which aired June 24th, 2006, the very spooky month of June. Joe Facts! So, before we dive into this episode, which I'm sure we have so much to say.
So much to say.
Anything we want to talk about beforehand? Like anything going on in our lives?
You just want to bullshit for 20
Let's
minutes
just
before we start? I think people fast forward through this part.
No, they don't.
I would.
I wouldn't. This is the part I like the most.
In podcasts in general?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, now they're talking about the stuff. This is whatever. I like when they're making jokes and being funny and being the people that I like and want to listen to.
That can't be why people are listening to us.
If people like us and like listening to us and like our things, we're working on a new project.
We are?
Yeah.
We are!
We
filmed some of it
weekend.
yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, right. It was yesterday. Oh, my God.
It was yesterday.
So much happened yesterday that it feels like a year ago.
Are you going to explain what we filmed yesterday?
It's related to Doctor Who.
It is.
We are teaming up with former guest R. Alan Seiler, and not a former guest, but friend, Brandon Reed, to make a documentary about Wholanta, a convention we've been to a bunch of times. And we recorded podcasts there. We've done 3 podcasts there?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, we did we did
Tank Girl.
We did Tank Girl. We did the second Dalek movie. And then we did Macro Terror.
Yeah, so 3.
So 3.
Wholanta is historically my favorite convention. So
yeah, R.I.P. I guess. But it's coming up on the 20th anniversary. We're going to try to get a documentary out about it. And then we're going to talk Alan into doing Chattahooga.
You have been pitching it to everyone. You know what happens to the person who keeps pitching it, right?
They have to do it?
Yes.
All right.
They become the person in charge.
Let's do this thing.
Oof. I'm not agreeing to help you.
I can get at least one Doctor Who related person to be on it, or be on at the convention.
You think you could pull Richard Starking?
I was gonna say me.
Oh.
No, yeah, Richard Starkings for sure.
I don't think you could.
We got him for he lives here. We got him for the documentary. He was at Wholanta, and he seemed up for the idea of Chattahooga when we mentioned it. So anyway, we're working on that. Anything else going on in our lives?
Not that anyone would care about.
We did a murder mystery.
I was the murderer.
Yeah, and it was very upsetting. Tony fooled me.
I nearly didn't.
Nearly didn't.
But you got distracted, and I did.
I wore a very fake beard.
He was very suspicious of me multiple times. And then...
It's like twice I was suspicious of you.
That's multiple.
Yeah, but multiple sounds like more than 2.
Do you want to talk about Fear Her?
Let's talk about Fear Her.
Let's talk about Fear Her.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Is this going out on Halloween?
Around it. Maybe a day before it.
Happy Halloween!
Yeah, let's talk about this spooky episode of Doctor Who. All right, I've given it an alternate title that I might have to explain. You know how there's sketch comedy?
I'm aware, yes.
This episode is sketch horror.
What does that mean?
She makes sketches, don't she?
That's okay.
And they are scary.
Yeah.
Scary sketches. sketch horror.
Sketch.
That's my title for this episode. There was other titles. There was Chloe Weber Destroys the Earth and You're a Bad Girl, Chloe Weber. And then they just went with Fear Her, which is a good title for an episode that doesn't earn it.
Okay, here's the thing about Fear Her.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
The title?
The episode.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me do a summary and then we'll talk about it.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
Do you not know how this podcast goes?
I try not to pay attention.
I know. All right, so here's my summary. You can rate me on it. The Doctor and Rose travel to the far distant future of 2012 to check out the Olympics. Instead, they get wrapped up in a mystery involving missing children. Turns out a little girl named Chloe Weber has been possessed by a lonely alien who has been drawing all of the children and trapping them in the paper she draws on. She also draws Chloe's abusive dead dad in the closet. She proceeds to draw the Doctor, the entire Olympics audience, and almost the entire world. Luckily, Rose finds her spaceship and chucks it into the Olympics torch, and the alien leaves Chloe. Unfortunately, her dad comes to life, but Chloe and her mom defeat him by singing. Then the Doctor takes the torch and lights the big flame, which sends the spaceship into space to connect back up with its family. Finally, a storm approaches, and the sloppiest cliffhanger I have ever seen.
What do you mean sloppy?
What a terrible cliffhanger. There's a storm a-coming. Vague, slapped on, badly written. It tells you nothing. Just like, oh, the next episode's gonna have stuff.
Something's gonna happen in the next episode.
It's like, they're like, this episode's going up before the 2-part finale. Put something on the end there to sort of hint at it. Oh, what is it? We can't tell you. There's a storm approaching. Terrible. Awful. Hated it. Maybe the worst part of the whole episode for me.
It's not the sloppiest cliffhanger you've ever seen.
In New Who.
Oh, okay.
It's not, oh no, the floor.
It's not, oh no, the floor.
But at least, oh no, the floor has something going for it that is funny. Like, that's funny. The Seventh Doctor hanging off the literal cliff is funny. And like, what the fuck? But this is just like, you couldn't think of anything? With the most cliched line of dialogue. Anyway, alright, let's talk about Fear Her. This is the lowest ranked episode of the Revive series. It's been ranked the lowest multiple times in polls. I don't think it's the worst episode of New Who, but it frequently gets voted to be the lowest.
It's so interesting to me because it
is kind of nothing.
It's not good.
No.
But it's not bad. Like, it's fine.
Honestly, it's a reach. It almost feels like a retread of another episode from this season that also isn't very good.
What's that?
The TV one.
Oh.
It's kind of the same deal. It's like there's a thing going on, a mystery thing going on while a big event is happening, and the event very loosely ties into the plot.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think it ties into the TV one better. I mean, it's boring to watch, but at least it makes more sense. It's connected better. The Queen's thing is an actual part of the plot of the bad guy. The Olympics just happened to be there. And also I was reading a thing that was like saying how like the point of the TV one is like there's that scene at the end where it's like, this is the real thing. The people, right? Not the big event. It's on the street level of it. And then this episode's like, nah, the big thing is that the Doctor gets to light that torch.
Yeah, but that is cool, though.
Is it? I don't know. It's fine.
Is it not cool?
It's cool. It is weird how they get there, which is, okay, first off, the entire Olympics audience, participants, all of them disappear. They come back, nobody says anything about it. They're just like, well,
that was weird.
That was weird. Let's keep that torch going. Okay, when he said a guy got struck by lightning, was that the ship hitting the torch, or was that something else? Unclear.
I think the Doctor did it so that he could carry the torch. He took out the first guy.
All right.
He electrocuted the guy who was carrying the torch and then just picked it up like, I'm a hero.
And that's the other thing is like, it seems like people care more about the flame than the guy who passed out and may be dead. Weird. Anyway, the Doctor lights the torch, and that doesn't actually happen in modern day.
Well, a Doctor did it.
Yeah, I think Matt Smith was part of it. Also, I think there is a 11th Doctor mini-sode, one of the ones that was written by children, maybe, in which they also go to the 2012 Olympics. But there's no connection at all to this episode, other than it's the fact that it's the 2012 Olympics. So, Here's a couple of reasons three reasons why this episode may not be the best. Number one, it was written to be low budget, and it shows. The big bad you don't even see, which I think they're trying to go for like, oh, it's the unseen thing. It's coming out of the closet and you don't see it, and that's scarier. And it's not.
It's not.
It's just kind of boring. Second is the episode, the guy who wrote it says he wrote it for kids. And
I think that's the real reason why people hate it.
Is that it's written for kids?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think anything
Why are you laying down?
Because I'm comfortable. I think anything that shows Doctor Who is a kid's show, people hate.
The thing is, I don't think it'd be particularly fun for children.
Well, it's not fun.
No, it's not. Okay, and here's another thing. It was a rush job. It was originally going to be an episode written by Stephen Fry. There's conflicting information, and I didn't bother to look up any further. The Wikipedia and the TARDIS Wikia claim two different titles for the story. One was the 1920s, and the other was Doctor Who and the Green Knight.
One of those sounds like a title, and one of those doesn't.
Which one sounds like a title? Doctor Who and the Green Knight?
Yeah.
Yeah, but would you say Doctor Who and the in modern era? The 1920s, like I think 1920s was just like a placeholder title. It was going to be a story set in the 1920s. Anyway, it was written by Stephen Fry, and it was too expensive. And so they're like, we're just going to push this off to the next season. And they rushed this one into production.
Well, how come we didn't see the Green Knight in the next season?
By the time it came to do that one, Stephen Fry was busy with something else and wasn't available to do rewrites, and they just scrapped it.
Well, was it good? I want to know. I'd like to read it.
All right, I'll find it.
Thanks.
Also, this is one of the only episodes of New Who that has been banned and removed from some streaming services. The BBC iPlayer.
What for?
So the Olympics announcer.
Oh!
I told you about this. His name was Hugh Edwards. He was an actual television news guy who in like 2022, 2020, somewhere in there, post 2020. Actually, it might have been August of this year. It was revealed that he is a pedophile, and he had lots of child pornography that he had gotten from children.
Yikes.
They had to take down like a plaque dedicated to him somewhere, and they removed this episode. I believe they are going to, because it's only voice. I think they're going to get somebody else to record that character, which they should just get the person who actually did the Olympics in 2012. That's what people are pushing for.
I doubt that anyone would even miss this if
they just left it out. But then when we get the like important setup of a storm approaching, there are some good things in it. The Council Road guy is funny.
It's very funny.
He says the word council 75 times.
That's a Council Road. That's a Council X.
That you're tearing up the Council Road with. I'm going to report you to the council.
That is a good scene.
I like the scribble creature that attacks Rose. It looks so delightfully cheesy, like it's from Ghost Rider or something.
Yeah.
The PBS show, not the Marvel character. Though you seem to have a problem, and so do a lot of people.
With him erasing it? That's not how graphite works. It doesn't work that way inside the pencil. Why would it work that way outside of the pencil? That's bonkers. Who thought that? Who did that?
Toni, this is for children. This works on kid logic.
Listen.
Mm-hmm. You just don't like it because you don't like that it's for children.
I understood how pencils worked as a child. I don't understand that bit at all.
Because, yeah, he holds the little graphite ball and just shakes a pencil eraser at it, and parts of it just disappear in a very poorly done special effect.
It's not how graphite works.
Speaking of things not making sense, the Doctor is weirdly out of character in this episode. It feels like it should have been earlier in the season when he's just regenerated because of how weird he's acting.
Yeah.
At one point, he refers to his hair on the back of his manly hands. He sticks his fingers in jam and eats it.
That offends me so much. They're at somebody else's house. He puts his finger in somebody else's jam.
He's just particularly manic this episode. I mean, some of it's fun and funny. Like, I like him getting jealous of the cat.
I hate him getting jealous of the cat.
You hate him getting jealous of the cat?
I never fully trust people who don't like cats.
Well, he gave a good reason for it. He was chased by one in New Earth, so.
As somebody who hates cats, I can never...
Yeah.
Never fully trust him.
And the Doctor has been a cat person in the past. Like, Six had a little cat pin on his costume.
That's true.
And, like, the Master's a cat person. He literally was a cat person.
The Master's a cat boy? That's very different.
All right. That cat, speaking of, shut down filmmaking for, like, hours. It took them 2 days to get the footage of this fucking cat doing what it needed to do. And it's just that shot of the cat going inside of the box. They could not get that cat to go inside of the box.
I fucking love cats.
There's like a good 10-minute chunk on this in the Doctor Who Confidential of just the crew, of Billy Piper, everybody trying to get this fucking cat to go inside of this fucking box.
I love it.
And the cat's like, nah. I had this friend who belonged to this guy named Schrodinger. I know what's in boxes.
You don't know. That's probably the whole point.
The only other thing that I thought was interesting about this episode... Well, first off, no Torchwood update. The second episode this season that doesn't have a Torchwood mention. But I liked when he said he was a dad once. And Rose is like, what? And then he just completely ignores it.
And he says nothing else.
And then RTD kind of contradicts that in the last episode that aired. When Shooty was all like, I'm not a dad yet. Timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly. I'll be a dad at some point or something. Very weird. Just let him be a dad. It doesn't have to be a time thing.
Oh, I think this is one of the examples of the Doctor lies.
Shooty lies?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I've already blown through all of my notes except for the weirdest one.
Let's hear it.
Crime crackers.
What?
So, you know how there's like a little TARDIS-ode for every episode this season? A little filmed thing that like sets up the episode or whatever.
Yeah.
The one for this episode is fucking bonkers. I'm going to play it for you real quick.
Okay.
Because I want to see your real-time reaction.
Okay.
To the TARDIS episode for Fear Her.
An ordinary London street? Or is it crime crackers? Can you help us? Dale Higgs, Jane McKillen, where are they? Ran away from the big city, joined a gang.
Oh no!
The police don't seem to know, but you are crime crackers' eyes and ears. Can you help crime crackers? Don't want to talk to the cops? Then call now on this number. We're waiting for your call. You can make a difference. Crime crackers. Cracking down on crime.
Why was that number so long?
Because they can't use a real number. And it's the future.
2012, all phone numbers are 14 digits long. At work, they asked us if we could make a video teaching people how to make the security gate, and they asked us if it could be funny, and they asked us if it could be done by the end of the day. And
this has that same energy.
This has that exact same energy as the video we ended up producing.
I want to see a full episode of Crime Crackers cracking down on crime.
Definitely has the vibe of like the intern, like somebody ran up to the intern and was like, shit, we forgot to film the one for this one. Just do something real quick.
Dave, get out there. Put on a suit. It is so over the top and weird. That's a terrible way to get across this information about missing children.
Yeah, because it's funny.
Yeah.
And the episode is not funny?
No. You know what we didn't talk about? The mom.
Oh yeah, we know her. We don't know her. She's in other things.
We know her from other David Tennant properties.
She's in Staged and Good Omens.
Plays two different characters in Good Omens.
I always forget that, but everybody plays 2 different characters in Good Omens. They brought all the actors back from season 1 and just gave them new characters.
Yeah, I like her a lot. She's pretty good in this episode as well. Like, mostly she just has to be scared of her own daughter, and she does good at that. Chloe Weber is pretty good, too.
I think so.
Because she's possessed by a little flower alien thing.
I think she does a good job doing the possessed voice.
Where she has to whisper all of her lines.
I love Chloe Weber.
I wonder who did all the drawings. I actually like the drawings, too. Especially when they animate.
I was going to say, I wish there was more animation of them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's just like, oh no! It's a children's drawing! And you're supposed to be very scared.
I think it only really animates once in that cold open.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just see them, and then they cut away, and they cut back, and there's something, like the characters moved. Or the doctor's just pointing at a torch. Like, all of the people in the drawings look so sad, except for the doctor. The doctor just looks like, yep, must be Tuesday.
I mean, it is Tuesday for the doctor.
Yeah. Another good bit. There's a couple of things I like. One, I like the parking joke, where the doctor materializes the TARDIS, and then opens the door, and he's blocked in, so he just rematerializes it, turned slightly, so he can get out. It's a pretty good gag. Good visual gag. And another thing that I don't know if I like or hate, which apparently is a reference to a show I've never seen, Inspector Lewis. The Doctor and Rose being cops. They just really get into character about it, and I don't know if it's cute or annoying.
That's largely how I feel about Ten and Rose.
Yeah. Just that, oh, you got a hunch? What do you want to do about it? I want to follow it up, Inspector. Whatever. All that nonsense. There's also, how do you feel about the whole hand to hold thing? There's the bit where the doctor is in the TARDIS talking about, like, everyone just, like, needs a hand to hold or something like that.
Oh, and Rose holds out her hand.
And then he grabs it and looks very tearful. And she's like, no, I was pointing at a thing, which is cute. And then at the end, when the doctor hasn't reappeared, she's like, who will hold his hand? Somebody else. You're not special, Rose.
Whoa.
He's had at least 13 of you before now. Anyway, you got anything else you want to talk about? I'm plumb out.
No. You want to do final thoughts?
Yeah, real quick though, before we do final thoughts. If you were going to be in the Olympics, what would you be doing in the Olympics? What would your activity be?
I don't understand the question.
What would you do in the Olympics if you had to be in the Olympics? What thing would you compete for?
Yeah, no.
Listen, you could very easily do breakdancing. Apparently, you don't have to be good at it to get into the Olympics.
So I've heard. Yeah, I don't understand the question. There's nothing I would be good at.
No, but if you had to do something.
I mean, skating?
I always wanted to do that thing where you, like, spin the little ball around and chuck it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I want to do that just because it looks fun. I would represent America in whatever the hell that's called. I don't even know.
What is that called? Shot put?
Maybe? Yeah. Let's go with that.
That's what Miss Trunchbull does.
Yeah. But with like that girl with pigtails.
Yeah.
I could do that. I could chuck a small girl with pigtails or whatever they do in the Olympics. All right. Let's take a quick break and we'll be back for final thoughts.
Holy podcast! It's Howdy Mike Gordon.
Howdy!
What are you doing here, Mike?
Well, Drew, I'm here to talk Batman 66, of course.
Batman 66?
That's right, folks. Join Drew Leiter and I every Wednesday for the Bat Chums podcast. We will discuss, recap, and review the Batman 60 series episode by episode.
Same bat time, same bat channel. Come on, Bat Chum. We don't have one moment to lose.
Don't worry. The worst is yet to come.
And we're back. Tony, do you know what time it is?
I'm aware of the time, yes.
Please tell me the time.
Tell you the time?
Tell me what time it is.
It's 5:48 p.m.
And what are we going to do at probably 5:49 or 5:50 p.m.?
Hopefully wrap this up. I got places to be.
Where you gotta be.
I got naps to take.
Oh, that does sound good.
Right?
So what do we need to do before naps can be taken?
We need to do some final thoughts.
Hell yeah.
Okay, here's my thing about Fear Her. I don't understand people who really, really hate it because I don't understand having really strong emotions about this episode. It's fine. It's competent. It's not very interesting. But also, it's not terrible. It's just fine. And that's it. Those are my final thoughts.
Seconded. I will say, there is like a 20-minute chunk of the episode that's just the doctor explaining the plot to us. Or at least that's what it feels like. It goes on forever, and it's just a bunch of sci-fi bullshit words. It felt the most classic Who that we've seen so far. That scene where, like, Chloe Weber's on the bed drawing the little thing. And he's like,
I love the way she says it.
Oh, she's from this group of aliens, and they do hallucinations, and they have to be together as a family,
Ooh,
and
I
they
will
split
say,
up.
though,
Yeah?
that is like a good setup to do a like parallel alternate universe without actually doing it. Of like, yeah, there are these aliens who like create whole realities. And, like, you could accidentally fall into one and not know what the fuck is happening.
Ooh, that is a good idea.
Yeah, so somebody write that down.
And then you could have the main characters just in S&M gear, and one of them is a cop in high heels.
And then my roommate comes in and says,
What are you watching?
What's happening? And I say,
And then you can have one of the characters say, Tough Noogies!
Farscape's such a good show. If you don't know what the fuck we're talking about, you should stop listening to this and start watching Farscape.
Trigger warning for that episode, too.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
heads up on that. It is the goofiest, most fucked up, horrifying, hilarious episode of television. Won't get fooled again. Farscape. So yeah, that's my final thoughts. Watch Farscape. Watch Farscape instead of Fear Her. Anything we need to plug?
We already did it.
There's probably a crowdfunding thing for the Hulanta documentary going on, so hey, chuck some money at that. You know you want to. And if you like this episode of the podcast, check out more on Watch-A-Rassilon.com. You can also find our podcast, our Patreon, and more at Linktree/Watch-A-Thon. I want to give a special shout out to Vince and EL for providing us with our amazing theme song.
Thank you, Vince.
Check out more of their music at vinceandel.bandcamp.com. They've got the beats. And tune in next time when we talk about the end of this fucking season that's taken us an entire year to get through. Army of Ghosts and Doomsday. Until next time, keep calm and Rassilon.
Goodbye, and I love you in a platonic, parasocial way.
Crime crackers.
A storm's approaching.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.